Hello, welcome to the Situation Room. My name is Vivian Kailoko. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of the Situation Room. And of course, the elections are coming up. It's an exciting period to be in Ghana. Here on the Situation Room, we look at everything around the elections, starting from whichever year you can think about. But today, our focus will be on 2012 all the way to 2020. My name is Vivian Kailoko. Thank you for joining us. Remember to stay up to date with the 2024 elections using our hashtag GhanaPolls2024. If you want to verify any video or anything around the elections, remember the hashtag is CityVerify. But this is the Election Bureau. When we come back, I'll introduce to you the gentleman who will take us through the data, the big numbers, the big analysis and everything. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Anyway, welcome back to the Situation Room. Stay with us with the hashtag GhanaPolls2024. 2012 all the way to 2020. I'm sure you're wondering how things panned out for the big political parties. We'll be looking at that. And later, the big region that is being discussed by both political parties, that's the main ones, the NDC and the MPP, is the Ashanti region. What does it mean with the numbers for all these political parties? We'll be looking at that. Join me. I'm joined now by Bernard Avle, who is going to take us through most of these figures and these analysis. Bernard, welcome.
Thank you, Vivian.
Today I'm in your space.
You're asking me questions. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to be here too. So I want to take viewers through the election periods we've seen from 2012 and see the national view of the MPP and the NDC. And I know you have that. So what I'm seeing here is the map Ghana, but we have all the regions, 16 regions. But of course, from 2012, we didn't have that. You explain all that and take us through. But let's start with the national feel of 2012, what it looked like for both parties.
So there are two elections to look out for if you want to see dominance. So of course, we've been voting this way since 92. So the NDC's biggest victory has been 92, followed by 96 when Rawlings was their candidate. And then 2000, MPP won after 2 rounds. 2004, MPP maintained their lead. And then 2008, NDC won after 2 rounds. Then 2012, NDC won in 1 round. Then 2016, MPP took over from NDC. And then 2020, MPP maintained their lead. So in 2024. So they've won equal number of elections. NDC 92, 96, 2008, 2012. That's 4. MPP 2000, 2004, 2016, 2020. So it's 4-4. The best that NDC got was 92. But 92 was, the ballot boxes were not transparent. There was no photo ID. So it wasn't a very modern election. Post 2000, NDC's best election has been 2012, which is what I'm showing you. Incidentally, MPP's best election post 2000 has been 2016.
That's right.
So those 2 elections have shown the 2 extremes of the parties in the modern era.
So 2012 for NDC and 2016 for the MPP.
Wonderful.
Great.
Second good point. We had 16 regions only from 2018.
That's right.
But because we had 275 constituencies from 2012, we know how the regions behave all the way from 2012. You may not be able to do this for 2008. It may be a bit tough because 2008 you had 230 constituencies. But from 2012, so for example, we know NDC won 2012 election in the Western region. But knowing the constituencies in Western North and then the constituencies in original Western, or what is left of Western, now you have a clear picture of. So you notice that we've created a heat map. Because in MPP's colors, there's blue, white, and red. We've chosen blue for MPP. NDC's colors are green, black, and white. So we've chosen green.
But I'm seeing something else. I'm seeing a lighter shade and a darker shade.
Thank you. So every time you see deep green, it means, or a deeper shade of a color, it means the party won it by 60% or more.
Great. So a really strong force.
So it means that their opponent won it by 40 or less. So this is a strong 20 or more % gap. All right. If they win it by between 50 and 60%, it's just a lighter shade. So in the year 2012, which was NDC's best in a long time, they are, you can say they are strongholds. Volta, Oti, Upper East, Upper West, Savannah, Western North.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 strongholds for the NDC.
MPP stronghold, Ashanti.
Okay.
So the MPP still won Eastern, Ahafo and Bono. NDC won the Western, Central, Greater Accra, Bono East, Northern and Northeast, but less so much. This is very important because it gives you a sense of the dominance of the party. Now, if a party is dominant and the numbers are big, then it's a big advantage. So the reason today we'll talk about Ashanti is MPP has just one dominant in 2012. NDC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dominant. But as I will show you, NPP has, there are 47 constituencies in Ashanti. So, and the gaps in Ashanti, because the constituencies are also big, means that it takes a lot of work around the country to overturn this.
So Ashanti is very key in terms of numbers and all that. Okay.
So this is the first point.
Right.
Now, let's look at 2016, which is NPP's best. So you counted one stronghold in 2012, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for NDC in 2016. Can you guess how this will change?
For 2016,
which is MPP's best. Because mind you, and before I even go there, this election, NDC got 50.70 and NPP,
47.
so just a
3%
or slightly less than 3%.
Roughly difference. Margin,
all right? So it's not such a big gap because apart from 96 was their best, Rawlings, second Rawlings. In 2000, Kufuor won the second round pretty decently. 2004, he also sort of consolidated. 2008, when NDC won, remember, after it was 40,000 votes in the second round. In fact, Kufuor won the first round. He had 49 point something. And then, so the point is that this is NDC's best for a long time. Now let's look at MPP's best in the series, 2016.
Ooh.
Tell me what you see.
Wow, a lot of blues popping up.
So where are the deep blues? So you have 1, 2, 3. No,
I've gone ahead of everybody.
You've gone ahead. You've gone ahead of yourself.
I'm in a hurry because the blues.
You've gone ahead of yourself.
Just took off.
So what you have is now. Let me take you back to 2016. So what you have is MPP is now showing you 1, 2. Let's talk on the region they win first. They win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 regions. All right. But in terms of the ones they win well, in terms of the strongholds, you have Ashanti, Eastern, and Bono. These are the strongholds. NDC strongholds are now Volta, Oti, Savannah, and Upper East. Initially in 2012, it was about 7. It's reduced. MPP had only 4 regions. Now they have another 4 in addition, and they've made 3 their strongholds.
And so the strong ones, the 3, and then you're seeing the lighter ones where they did okay, also taking up all these places, right?
Yes. And in addition to that, this guy used to be deep green, is now light. This guy used to be deep green, is also light. So there were a few other changes. So if you look at the 2012-2016 scenario, it was a major flip. For somebody came from a 3% deficit to a close to 10%.
Almost 10%.
So they sort of did like a 12 to 13% switch. All right. A more normal election, when I say a normal election, is an election where the gaps are similar to pre-2012, so 2008, 2004. A more normal election is election 2020 in terms of the outcome. All right. A more normal election. Now, let's look at what we have here. 51.2, 47 points. All right. This is worse than 2016 for him. This is better than 2016. But this is not as good as 2012. So, historically, so you can say now you have MPP strongholds at 2. NDC strongholds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they've reclaimed Upper West. Upper East has always remained strong. Volta, Oti always strong. Savannah always strong. Upper West went in 2016. It came back. This has shifted from deep to light. Okay. By the way, these two, in 2012, it was only this. But somehow this has also joined the picture in 2012. But then there are 4 more. So this is a picture you have on a regional basis. Okay. Now,
this is very, very interesting. I don't know whether it's time for us to look at the regions and then zoom into the Ashanti region after dealing with the regional basis.
What would be nice? What would be nice for me to do is to give you a constituency view of how this looks.
Okay.
Because you see, we simplify when we say a party wins a region. So let me go back. When you say a party has won a region, it assumes that they took everything there. So we are back in 2012. A party may have won a region, but the devil is in the detail of which constituencies and what was the gap. Okay.
Right.
Now I'll show you something. Actually, I do it here. I do it here. Let me just show you something here before we go. So check this out. If I change this to constituencies, see what you're saying. So even though originally you just have blue here and green here, when you change it to this, what do you see? You notice that it becomes more nuanced. So there are blues all over.
Yeah.
And there are different shades.
There are different shades.
So you see what's going on. So now your deep blue is very Ashanti and Eastern. Then your light blues are Bono, Ahafo, and then some sprinkles of the north. Where are your deep greens? Western North, Volta, all through. So this gives you a more realistic explanation of what we just showed. So what our heat map is trying to do is that regions are good units for campaign. Regions are good for trying to understand the simplistic explanation of the election. But if you want to drill down, this is better.
Okay, so let's drill down and go through all the regions quickly, and then we'll probably zoom into one.
Good. So I should go back to region.
Yes.
You are interested in region.
Yes,
Okay. You want to look at regions again.
I'll let
you want to see how the changes took place in the regions.
So if you can do a comparison quickly, so some of the key regions, for example.
So that's a very interesting point. So where should I start from? Let's keep our eye on regions that don't change.
Okay.
Regions that don't change, no matter what year you use, okay? So we are in 2012. Keep your eye on some regions. I'm going to tell you which regions will not change.
All right.
This region will not change. The Volta will not change.
Okay.
Upper East will not change. Savannah will not change. Ashanti will not change.
Yeah.
Everybody else will change.
Will change, yeah.
All right, so let's go through. 2012.
2012.
2016. Volta hasn't changed. OT hasn't changed. Savannah hasn't changed. Upper East hasn't changed. Ashanti hasn't changed. Everybody else has gone through some change. So you can say that even though this was a very good election for MPP, there are still some people who stayed with NDC. And even though 2012 was a very good election for NDC, Ashanti didn't change. Okay.
Good.
Now, let me show you something. We have strongholds of the two parties. When we pick them constituency by constituency, it paints a very interesting picture.
That's right.
So if you can permit me to go there, I'm going to show you something.
Let's see what you're talking about and what you found out with those regions.
And by the way, this is the constituency map without emphasis on how much they won. So this is just blue for MPP, green for NDC. So this is a simpler version. Okay. So again, this is 2012. All right. So 47-50. Very simple. Now, we've shown you that some regions don't change and some regions change. Let me also deal with constituencies that don't change. So we have something we call safe constituencies for the two parties when you put them together. So check this out. You notice that in the regions, Volta, OT, some parts of Upper East. So these are the constituencies that you can say are the strongholds of NDC and MPP on one map.
So now, this one is safe. I can see the
so safe NDC, safe MPP.
Safe MPP.
Now look at what's going on. In 2012, when you put the two safe constituencies together, MPP has a slight advantage.
Where the safe one
so you are just
Ashanti.
Because let me take it one by one. Safe MPP constituencies are 50.
Okay. And the NDC?
Safe NDC constituencies, guess what? They're also 50.
Whoa. So 50-50.
Yes. Constituencies that will give you 60% or more consistently.
For either parties?
For 2012, they were 50-50. Okay. So when you take the safe ones for NDC, they get 81%, MPP gets 16% of the 50 that is safe for them. And they are all the way through Volta, OT, parts of Northwest. Now, when you come to the safe, NPP alone, they are also 50. They get 73, NDC gets 72%. Okay. Now, take note something else. Safe MPP, 2.7 million. Look at Safe NDC. 2 million. So the issue is, even though NDC has a bigger spread in their safe constituencies,
they're less
the population is just a bit over 2 million. This is 2012, by the way. For MPP, their safe is 2.7 million, almost. 2.7. So there's almost a 700,000 advantage MPP has. So, and this is basically just one or two regions.
So this is for 2012.
2012.
What was the situation for 2020, the last election?
Okay, so you want me to show the safe?
I want to see the safe thing. Whether
so let me do 2016 next. So 2016, MPP's safe 50, the population is 3 million.
Gone up?
3 million, at least about 3 million. NDC safe, they are 2.3. So the 700 gap is still there. So when you put the two together, guess what? So again, even though safe NDC 76, MPP 20, safe MPP 79, NDC 20, when you put them together, MPP will have an advantage. So surprise, surprise, put the two together, safe NDC, MPP. What do you have? 56-42.
Okay, so it turns out that Ashanti is pushing the figures up for MPP.
You're right. The number of safe constituencies for the two parties are the same. But the size of the constituency in terms of population, the MPP has bigger constituencies in their safe zone than the NDC does. And when I say big, I don't mean the size, physical, population. So they both have 50-50 that are considered safe. But as I said, when you put all the safe for MPP together, they have a 700,000 population more than NDC. That is the reason why when you put the two together for 2016, you have a 56-42. Mind you, when you did this for 2012, it was 50-47. And the gap is the same. But, so 2016 was a very unusual election. Because MPP really pummeled the NDC. Okay. Now let's come to your question. You want to know 2012. So let's do 2020. So 2016, there's the 100, 56-42. All right. There's a gap of 500,000. All right. In 2012, the gap was 118,000. Let's look at 2020. What's the gap when you put the safe constituencies together? So you're talking NPP's 50 and NDC's 50.
What are we seeing?
53%, 45%, 300,000. So NDC ate into that 500,000 too.
To increase their
so it was 500,000 for MPP. Now it's 300,000 for MPP.
Okay.
So 53%. So the point I'm making is that the MPP strongholds have bigger populations. So even though you are 50-50 to put together, when you put just the safe together, MPP gets an advantage.
So, Bernard, can we quickly look at the NDC safe regions?
Okay.
And then it looks like the MPP is clear.
Yes.
What
you want the MPP safe?
Ashanti and Eastern, which is they are safe. But for those who want to know the number of regions that the NDC has,
safe constituencies
but
are
still not get that the numbers that they want.
Okay. So when you take NDC safe constituencies and we use safe, they are basically in the, when you go to the regional map, they are basically constituencies in Volta region, parts of the eastern region in the Krobo areas, Savannah, the western enclave of Upper West, a lot of Upper East, and some western north. This is where, so if you like, I could show you the constituencies. Let's look at Ada. Of course, there are a couple in Greater Accra. So there's Ada and a couple others. But look, Adaklu, Afajato South, Afram Plains North. That's Eastern region. Afram Plains South, Eastern region. In fact, the names are here. Akan, Akachi North, a lot. So you have Bia West and Bia East and Western North. Those are the two. And then a lot in Upper is Binduri, Bogatanga Central. Bogatanga is Bole Bamboy, Mohammed's hometown. Bongo Upper East, Buem Oti, Bulsa North, Upper East, Bulsa South, Upper East. Central Town, Tiana Paga, Upper East, Dafiama Busi Issa. That's in Upper West. Domia Brabum, Greater Accra, whole Central, whole West, where all Volta, Jirapa, Upper West, Keta, Ketu North, Ketu South, all Volta.
Well, these are a lot of constituencies.
Good. So this deep green gash tells you 50. Where is MPP's?
Stronghold.
MPP's safe. Just take a look at where they are.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to give you the list just on my screen. Abetifi, Eastern. Ebuakwa South, Eastern. Achiasi, Eastern. Ifija Kwabre North, Ifija Kwabre South, both Ashanti. All right? Let's look at the other names we have here. So you have Akropong, Eastern. Anyaso Otuom, Greater Accra.
Wow.
Asante Akim Central, Ashanti. Asante Akim North, Ashanti. Asante Akim South, Ashanti. Asokwa, Ashanti. Etiwa East and West, Eastern. Achuman Kwahoma. The three Achumans are all Ashanti. Bantema, Bekwai, Bosomi Friho, Bosontri, all Ashanti. If you just see Asokori, Ashanti. Ejisu, all Ashanti.
Yeah.
Fanti Akwa South, Eastern. Fomina, Ashanti. Joabeng. It's Eastern. Kede, Eastern. Kumeu, Kwabre, East. Kwada, so all Ashanti. Mampong, Minsha, North, Minsha, South, Ashanti. Manso Dubia, Manson Kwanta, Ashanti. In Prayoso, Eastern. New Joabeng, North, Eastern.
So the Ashanti really...
It's a very Ashanti heavy. Don't forget, Ashanti has 47 constituencies. So in Ghana, they have the largest region in terms of number of constituencies.
Okay.
And then population-wise as well. Let me just show you this finally. So just let's move away from this and just talk about the region. Okay, let's do Ashanti. Just to give you a sense of the number of voters for 2020. Over 3 million voters in Ashanti. Okay. Now, this is 2020. 2012, 2.5 million. 2016, 2.8 million. 2020, 3 million. Now, compare that to Volta region, okay? So let's say we are picking Volta region, which is a stronghold of the NDC. What's the population of the Volta region? Starting from 2012, 800,000, 850,000. 2016, 942. 2020, a little less than a million.
So, I mean, as compared to
so
just Ashanti.
So Ashanti is almost
1 million.
3 times for 2020 for Volta. But of course, some will say you should add OT to Volta to make it more interesting. So let's assume we are adding OT to Volta. Okay, when you add OT to Volta, it's 1.3 million.
Still not,
Still not up to.
Even twice that.
Yeah.
Right. So I will take a break soon, but when we come back from that break, we'll go deeper into the Ashanti.
You want to
it's
answer
really
the
catching my
Ashanti
attention.
question?
How Ashanti, I mean, 3 million, and we don't even know the numbers yet. We have provisional numbers for this year, and I'm sure it will go much higher.
Interestingly, this is the first time that in Ghana's population, Greater Accra is more than Ashanti. Okay. Slightly, but for voter numbers, Ashanti is still slightly more. Yeah. But of course, Greater Accra hardly gives anybody a big
clear majority. Yeah.
But Greater Accra is now over 5 million residents. Okay. For the first time, if you look at 2020 population numbers, Greater Accra has more people than Ashanti region for the first time. Yeah. Yeah. But when it comes to voters, because some people go back home to vote, Ashanti has slightly more voters than Greater Accra. But it's almost like at par.
So you can't really. And then quickly to the Ashanti stronghold.
So you want to see?
I saw some two
non-Ashanti. Okay.
Yeah. In the coast.
So let me do that for you.
I believe it's Anyansu and some.
You want to see where?
I want to see in the Greater Accra who is
good. You want to see MPP strongholds that are not or safe MPP that are not Ashanti.
In the Ashanti.
That's a very good
who
question.
Are these?
All right.
Two guys or girls.
You have what do you call it? Anyaso Otuom. Don't forget that Anyaso Otuom used to be Wejak Bawe. Yeah. Where yes, they split into 3. Yeah. But Tiano Glacier, Manfro, Wejak Bawe, and Anyaso Otuom. Anya has remained a stronghold of the NPP for a long time. Okay. So if you look at the list I have here, Anyaso Otuom is there. Yeah. The other in the Greater Accra region that does very well for the NPP. Should
be one of the Temas, right?
It's Tema East.
Tema East.
So, no, Tema Central, forgive me. So again, Tema was just Tema East and West. Where Tema East typically did well for NDC, Tema West for NPP. When they split it, Tema Central became some sort of safe haven for the NPP. So Tema Central is your other Greater Accra. So those are the two you're looking at.
All right. Okay, Bernard. This is the situation room. When we come back, we'll now look at the Ashanti region, the numbers, the trends, and everything around that pushes the MPP to get higher numbers over there. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Situation Room. My name is Vivian Kai Loko. I'm here with Bernard Avlet today. We're looking at the national field, the voting pattern of the various regions from 2012 all the way to 2020. We're now zooming into the Ashanti region to look at how the various constituencies act during the election period. And then, of course, you see some constituencies that go towards the NDC, why that happens and all that. Bernard, I'm bringing you back, but this time I want you to go to the Ashanti region. And I can see your map is ready. So the Ashanti region, once again, I see 3-4 colors. I see the deep blue, I see the light blue, and of course I see the deep green and a few light greens. What's happening
Same
there?
thing. So the deeper the shade, the better their results. So when you see deep blue, it means this is a place they win above 60%. Now look at the sheer number of constituencies they win above 60. I can't even finish counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a lot. The ones they win light shade of green is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is even 2012. This is NDC's best, right? NDC wins 5 constituencies in 2012 in Ashanti.
So these constituencies are?
So you have Ofinsu North, which they won strangely, Ejurase Chedumase. Then you have Sechira Farm Plains. Then you have New Edubiase. And then you have Asawase. Okay, so you have New Edubiase. So you have 5 constituencies NDC wins. 1 they win pretty well. MPP wins, so this is 47, right? So 42 they win strongly. Take out the 5 that they won of the 42 lightly. So you have about 37 constituencies strong. Right?
That's
now, 37. Think about it. You have 47 constituencies. NDC has won 5. So you have 42 left. Of the 42, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have been won by less than 60%.
The rest strong.
So you have 37 constituencies that you are winning by 60% or more. It gets worse. Let me take you to 2016. In 2016, the greens are only 3. The deep blues are so many. In fact, the light blues are only 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, you have 47. NDC wins 3. So you have 44 for MPP. Of the 44 for MPP, only 4 are below 60%.
Wow.
So you have 40 constituencies, 60%
heavy
or more.
For the MPP, 60%
Good.
or more.
Now 2020 then is what I call the steady state. 2020 is the steady state. I'll explain why. 2020, NDC claws back 1. So you have 4. And then the light blues are a bit more. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you take out the 4 from the 47, you have 43. Then you take out the 6, you have 37. So you have 37. So you see where this is going? Good. Now the other thing you need to know is the Ashanti region's percentage for MPP is always an issue. All right. And for this, I need to make a reference. So MPP's best ever performance in the Ashanti region, can you guess what year it was?
2016.
No, that's their second best.
19. No, I'm going too far.
You're going too far.
One of Kufuor's
good.
time,
so
right?
Kufuor, 2004, MPP had 76.97%.
Wow.
So close to 77%. And NDC had 21.8. That was their lowest. Kufuor's best, so MPP's best in Ashanti was in 2004 when Kufuor was going for his second term. His second best was 2016. That's MPP.
Which was what percent?
Akufo-Addo, 75.9. I'll show you that here.
Okay.
Right? Interestingly, 2008, 2012, MPP dropped. In fact, the total number of votes for MPP between 2004 and 2008 actually dropped.
Okay.
So MPP's number of votes in 2008, when Mills won that runoff, MPP's votes in the first round dropped, and their percentage also dropped to 72.5.
Okay. What has been the worst year for the MPP in the Ashanti?
2012.
2012, and the best for NDC. Do we know?
2012. So in 2012, NDC had close to 30%. They had 28.
Oh, okay.
So this 2012 thing I showed you here, this 5 seats and this light blues translated to 70% for MPP and 28% for NDC. So this is the interesting thing about this. Another quick point of emphasis. You notice that the more central you are, the bluer it gets.
The bluer. Why is that?
Because of what we call spillovers. Spillover, or you can call it continuities. When you say continuity, a regional line is an imaginary line. Okay, so for administrative purposes, it's a region.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at this part, the places that are green are neighbor to Bono East, which is another friend. So
of the NDC.
So let me show you something. So let me add Bono East to this equation. You notice? So Bono East is a stronghold of the NDC. And the neighboring constituencies to Ashanti that are, so you notice that the continuities is almost like a spillover of Bono East into Ashanti, which is why people like Secheria, Fram Plains, what do you call it, Offenso North in 2012, and this particular one, Ejira, Secheria, Dumase, all are green. Okay, again, this light blue, the continuities are Ahafo. So even though Ahafo is slightly more MPP than NDC, it's less so than Kumasi proper.
Yeah.
So if you add,
can you add Ahafo?
Good. So if you add Ahafo to this equation, you get. Just give me a minute. Let's reduce the size. If you add Ahafo to,
oops,
no, it will come back.
You went away.
You've taken it away. if you add Ahafo to this equation, just give me a minute to come back.
So the areas that they are surrounded by also, you know, has an impact on the numbers that, you know,
somehow you've
come in.
Yes, let me reset it. You have just disappeared. I don't know what you did, maybe. So when the key to understanding,
yeah, there you are.
Yeah, the key to understanding the region is to look at which region is next to it. Okay. So as I said, this is 2012. In 2012, you had 3 greens here, some light blues. I've already explained to you why
we had those greens.
Now look at Ahafo. Look at Ahafo in. Forgive me. If you add Ahafo is also lighter shade of blue. And so, then more of the, what do you call it, more of the greens, because NDC wants some seats in Ahafo. So the continuities is what explains, yes.
So, okay, so Bernard, you were explaining to me earlier that where you find some of the, constituencies, tells us a lot around the areas that they are surrounded by.
So I call it the continuities.
Yes.
Or you call it, because as I said, a region is an imaginary line. So if you want to understand why the more central you go, the deeper it gets for blue. It's because of spillovers from neighboring constituencies. So as I was saying, the 3 greens are at the northern border of Ashanti. And the reason for that is that when you take that next region, Bono East, that Bono East is very strong for NDC, right? A lot, Kintampo, Nkranza. So a lot of so you have the 3 Ashanti green. It's because the spillover of the Bono thing comes here, all right?
And we see the same thing, deeper here, deeper crossing over, lighter.
So because this line is only for administrative purposes, people live here and they are the same. Same thing. Now you notice that, and this is since 2012, the lighter blue is on the western side.
That's right.
Because the border is Ahafo. So if you bring Ahafo, Ahafo is a mixed region. Ahafo has 6 constituencies. Typically, you have Sunafo North and South, Esfi North and South, and then you have 2 others. Generally, MPP will win 3 or 4, and then this will win 2. But the color is very similar. So look at this. Ahafo North. This is Ashanti, right? Tano North. Because Tano is Ahafo. And Ahafo Ano, the mouth of the Ahafo. And this is Ahafo Ano North. This is Ahafo Ano South. Then you have, of course, Isutifi North and South, Isunafo North and South. So what I'm trying to say is that the reason you have these differences is the continuities. Okay. Now, of course, if you come closer to the eastern part, eastern region is the neighbor. Okay. So definitely you expect. Maybe let me reset this.
Yes,
you expect the deep blue to continue. All right, so if you pick Ashanti again, for want of argument, and you want to see how does Eastern region behave, of course, this is Central. So let's just compare Central, since you asked. So let's take Central region and see what happens
to that
there.
Side. Okay.
You see, NDC did well in Central in 2012, so their spillover moved in. This will be the part of Eastern region that does well. So you have Ofuansi Irebi, you have Atiase. They are very Ashanti. So if you take Eastern, okay, if you take Eastern and add it to this, so you see what I'm saying? So you have...
There's a lot of blues going on.
Good.
There.
So now you are seeing that the closer you get to Kumasi...
So explain some of them, the voting patterns.
Exactly.
Based on, you know,
so
where they...
the strongholds of MPP in Eastern will be the Ofuasi Irebis, the Achiases, Atiwa East, where am I? You know, these are in Koko, Ashanti Akim South, New Ebirem, Ofuasi Irebi here, all right? And then Kede and the rest of it. So Vivian, that's the visual explanation. But let's look at the we'll go to the numerical shortly, where the real dominance. Don't forget, I've shown you something. Of the 47 in Ashanti, 2012, 5 went to NDC.
Yeah.
Of the 42 left, 3 or 4 were slight. The rest were
very deep. Yeah.
2016, it was a bloodbath.
Yeah.
2020, they got about 37.
A few, yeah.
What does that mean in percentages? We already said that apart from 2004, 2016 has been the best for MPP in Ashanti.
Yeah.
NDC has this plus or minus 25% thing they do. So let me go through this. So in 2000...
apart from 2004, you said 2024. We've not seen the elections.
Forgive me, 2004.
Yeah.
So 2000, NDC got only 22%, 22.5 in Ashanti. 2004, 21.8. 2008, 26.
Yeah.
So they went above 25.
Yeah.
They won the election. 2012, 28. A bit more above.
Yeah.
2016, they came down to 23. Now, one of NDC's problems is that in 2020, they got 26% in Ashanti. So they felt they've done better than 25. So they should have won. But the population of the region was larger, and the gap in the vote was more. All right? And I'm sure when we go there, I'll show you some of this. The other point is that when you take all these strongholds, it takes a lot of the green strongholds to reduce the advantage of this stronghold.
Can we go through that? Because I'm thinking in my head, 3-point-something, million in terms of the numbers. How many regions will the NDC need to deal with this?
By what margin?
By what margin, yeah. By this 3.
It's a very good question. I think we can take a breather.
Yeah.
When I come out, I'll try and... Can you guess? Can you guess?
It will be, with 16 now, we're looking at least 12 regions.
It depends. The answer is it depends. We'll see. Every year is different.
All right.
So the number you need to
Let me take a quick break. Yeah. So when we come back, we'll delve more into the Ashanti region, looking at the numbers, and then we'll look at what numbers the NDC needs to tackle Ashanti region proper. Stay with us. And it's still the Situation Room. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Thank you for staying with us. It is also the Election Bureau, and you can join the conversation. You can follow us on ChannelOne TV as well as City 97.3 FM. The hashtag is Ghana Polls 2024. So we continue our conversation with the Ashanti region, looking at the numbers, the trends there, and all you need to know around the Ashanti region from 2012 all the way to 2020. Now we need to see the numbers proper in the Ashanti region. I can see a lot happening. This is 2012, right?
Yeah, so you asked me a question as to how many of NDC strongholds
to conquer that Ashanti region that is,
So don't forget that in 2012, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 NDC strongholds. Volta, OT, Upper East, Upper West, Savannah, and Western North. Okay. So let's see what happens. So this is Ashanti alone for 2012. So in 2012, Ashanti, one of MPP's low was 70%, 28%. How many regional strongholds of NDC will it take to wipe out this advantage? All right. So let's add the biggest of NDC strongholds,
so
Volta. So don't forget, keep your eye here. 70%, 28%.
28%. So
add
this is without Volta. Okay.
Yes. When you add Volta, 70 becomes 56.
56.
28 becomes 42.
42. Okay.
So Volta is strong.
That's not bad at all.
Volta is strong. That's 28 to 42.
So 42.
70 to 56.
Yeah.
They've lowered it by at least 16.
16, yeah.
They've gone up.
Okay.
Add OT.
OT, yeah.
It's still 54, so 2% more.
So much of a difference.
44. So Volta has a bigger population than OT.
Yeah.
All right. 54, 44. So a 10% game. So 70, 28. When you just add the old Volta region, it reduces from 70 to 54.
Wow.
It moves from 28
to 40 something, and
44.
then when you add OT, it goes to 44.
So good. So the old Volta region versus Ashanti, there's a 10% gap for 2012.
All right. So let's see whether this 10% gap, the other regions of the NDC strongholds can make up that 10% and move up.
The third most important region for NDC, based on the numbers, is Upper East.
Upper East, okay.
In terms of the extent of... So when you add Upper East, 54 becomes 51.
And then
44 becomes 47. So they had a healthy 3%.
Yeah.
Don't forget that MPP also gets numbers there.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm talking about differences now. Yes. So Upper East moves it from 54 to 51. So now, with Volta and Upper East against Volta, old Volta.
Okay.
And old Volta and Upper East against Ashanti for 2012. Ashanti is still strong.
Still strong.
Let's add Upper West and see what will happen.
Okay.
So you add Upper West. When you add Upper West, Akufo-Addo comes below 50.
Down, to 49.
Mahama is at 48.
Yeah.
But
still not
Akufo-Addo, so this is the second round. So in the again, you are talking about 2012 numbers. You take Volta, Upper against Ashanti. It's a 50-50 game.
Yeah.
So you see the size of Ashanti. You are adding Volta region.
You're adding Upper East, Upper West.
And then you're having... Now, based on your 2012 number, there are two more strongholds you've not added. There's Savannah and Western North.
Yeah.
Which one should I add first?
Let's see Savannah.
Let me add Savannah.
At the top.
Okay, let me add Savannah. So when you add Savannah, then Mahama crosses.
Before Mahama is able to cross.
So when you add Savannah, it's now 49.2, 49.05. And this is still within first round issues.
Okay, Bernard, take out Savannah and add up Western North.
You want to see something? Okay, yeah, see, you are getting interested. So when you have not added anybody, I've just added Upper and Volta, Ashanti. And I haven't added Eastern. This is just one MPP for NDC. Now, it's almost 50-50. Now, I should add Western North.
Yes.
I shouldn't add Savannah.
No.
When you add Western North,
and
Mahama crosses. So Savannah and Western North alone, still he crosses, but he doesn't go to 50.
He'll go to the 50.
Okay. We have not added Greater Accra. So this is just the country we are looking at.
Yeah.
Very interesting, right? So Ashanti's margin for MPP in 2012 required Volta, Oti, Western North, Upper East and Upper West to overturn.
Over 10. Wow.
Now, when you add Savannah, then he crosses.
We move to the 50.
When you add Savannah, then he crosses. Okay. You can make this very interesting. So let's assume you want to add Ashanti and Eastern.
Yeah, because that's what we have to do to see.
Okay.
Because you've put all the strongholds of the NDC.
But to do that, let me start again.
Okay.
To make it interesting. So I'm going to remove all these guys.
And start with Ashanti and Eastern.
Because what people forget is that the Eastern region also does give some NDCs or numbers. So you have 70-28.
Yeah.
Now when you add Eastern, guess what happens? It doesn't actually go up.
It doesn't?
It comes down.
Oh, because there are some splits from the NDC.
So when you add Eastern to Ashanti, NDC moves from 23 to 33. And MPP moves from 70 to 65.
65.
So it's, sorry, from 28 to 33. Yeah. So they move 5% points. Yeah. These guys lose 5.
Down.
So Eastern is not such a powerhouse, which is why on your other map, it was light.
But Bernard, are you able to tell me the Eastern region, the constituencies that go towards the NDC and their numbers?
Of course.
Which is pushing
by the way,
them.
all this is 2012.
Yes.
Just to show you something, if I change this to 2016, it's a different picture. So this is 65-33. If I change this to 2016, all of a sudden, it goes back to 70-27 territory for the two.
Wow.
Do you get it? So it's when you do a 2016, by the way,
where MPP did very well.
Yes, MPP's best.
That's
when you put MPP and Eastern and Ashanti together. 2016 is their best result since record started. It's a 70-30 game in a way.
Now we see the other years, the other elections.
Okay, so in 2020, when you do that, it comes down a bit, 68-30.
Okay.
So you see, so when you put Ashanti and Eastern together, you can say upwards of 65, 68, close to 70. This is around 30. All right? But we're using 2012 to tell the story, right? Yeah. So we are using 2012 as our base year for this analysis. So you have 65, 33. okay, for the two.
Yeah.
Again, let me tell people what's going on here. I take out Eastern, Ashanti alone, 70, 28. Adding Eastern doesn't help Ashanti necessarily.
No.
Adding Eastern gives NDC, because NDC does well, as I said to you, Manya, Yilo,
all the Kropo sides,
you get it, and then Afram Plains North and South, all right, they give the NDC sometimes it's Sojaman as well. So Ashanti stands on its own as a powerhouse. Now, in the 2012 example, we needed Volta, Oti, Upper East, Upper West, and either Savannah or Western North to overturn. Okay, and you wanted me to add Eastern and see what happens. So now I've added Eastern, and already MPP is coming down. Okay. Now, let's go back to what let's take Volta. So you put Volta in, it's now 56. Okay. So from 65 to 56. All right. Add Oti, 54, 44, 10% game. So now you have Eastern Ashanti together, Volta, Oti together, it's a 10% game. Similar to Volta and Ashanti alone, 2012 figures. Yeah. Okay. What did you add next? Upper East, 52 comes down. This guy's go to 46. Add Upper West, 51, 47. Now, where do we add next?
Savannah. Have you done Savannah?
Interesting. When it was Ashanti alone, when you added Savannah, NDC overtook. When you added Western North, NDC overtook. But now you've added Eastern. When you add Eastern, because Eastern is a big region, I don't think what happened in the initial case will happen. Akufo-Addo still leads. So Eastern gives NDC, MPP
something to, you know.
So in the original example of only Ashanti,
by now
NDC would have overtaken. But now, so now you have to add Western North. Still MPP, because so Eastern is their number 2. Oh,
so why are we left with to add to the
So now, where else did NDC win? So you can say Northern region.
Northern region,
okay, so now you're going to elite. Or you can
not Bono, one
let's say Bono East.
Bono,
So take Bono East. So now Bono East, 49.4, 49. So you have the 2 upper regions, Savannah, Bono East, Volta, Oti, Western North, to defeat Eastern and Ashanti for 2012. By the way, 2016, this will not be enough. In 2016, Akufo-Addo was still healthy, 10%. Yay. 2020, Akufo-Addo is still leading. So in 2020 results, the 2 upper regions, Savannah, Bono East, Volta, and Western North, could not defeat
the Ashanti standing on it and the Eastern.
Let's add a few NDC strongholds for 2020 to see what happens. Just for, as they say, for Shege reasons. So let's add nothing. Okay, let's add nothing and see what will happen. So we are trying to see what it will take to defeat the 2. When you add nothing, it's still 51-47. Wow. All right. Now, Northeast was won by MPP in 2020. Yeah. So it's not even something you're going to add.
No.
When Bono was won by MPP as well. But Greater Accra was won by NDC. Yeah. So let's see what Greater Accra will do for NDC.
No.
Greater Accra is 50-48. So Greater Accra, even though it's a big region, the gap was not that serious. Yeah. Now, MPP held Central. They lost Central parliamentary, but they won it presidential. Yeah. And they held Western. So 2020 results, the rest are bluer than green. So let me add anybody. Northeast. Akufo-Addo goes to 50.7. Okay. Add Western. 50.7 doesn't change. Everything else I add, Central 50.9. If I add Ahafo, still 50.9. When I add Bono, then it goes to 51.
It goes to 50.
You see what's happening?
Very interesting.
So basically, but all this is 2020 now. By 2012, you would have already crossed. So 2020 is the election to look at in terms of the most recent election. And Ashanti Eastern strong for MPP. Okay. Very important.
All right, Bernard, thank you. We have to leave it here, but very interesting numbers. I'm sure the next edition of Situation will look at more numbers and more regions and other things, you know, the border towns and so many things to look out for these elections. Thank you very much for also joining us, and remember to keep following us with the hashtag Ghana Polls 2024. It is the Election Bureau, and you can verify anything as well around the elections using the City Verify with the hashtag as well. My name is Vivian Kai.